Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night with your heart racing, wondering if you are doing enough to secure your future? Maybe you have looked at your bank account or your retirement statements and felt a sense of confusion rather than a sense of peace. We all want a clearer path forward, especially when it comes to the resources we need to care for our families and live a life of purpose. Today, I want to share with you something very special, a practice that has been part of our tradition for thousands of years. It is about a specific time of day that holds a unique power for those seeking clarity and financial wisdom. It is not a magic formula, but a spiritual discipline that aligns your mind and heart with the source of all wisdom. I want to welcome you back to the channel. I am Rabbi David. My mission is to help you bridge the gap between ancient spiritual truths and the very real, very practical world of finance. I know that many of you are in a season of life where you are thinking deeply about your legacy and your security. You are looking for more than just a quick fix. You are looking for a foundation that will stand the test of time. That is what we are going to build together today. We are going to talk about how to pray, what to pray for, and why the timing of your connection to the Almighty can change the way you see your entire financial landscape. And for those who are truly serious about accelerating their journey, for a limited time, I am opening the doors to the Torah Millionaire Business School for just $299. This is where I unveil the complete Torah wealth system, the full architecture of ancient wisdom applied to modern financial transformation. You can find the link in the comments below this video, in the description. And if you are watching on my YouTube channel, you will also see a QR code on the banner of my channel page. Just open your phone camera, point it at the QR code, and it will take you directly to the school. The doors are closing soon, so do not wait. Let us talk about the concept of time. In our modern world, we often view time as a linear resource that we are constantly running out of. But in the Torah, time is seen as a series of opportunities, a cycle of spiritual energy that changes throughout the day. There is a specific moment, just as the sun begins to peek over the horizon, that our sages have always identified as a time of great favor. This is called Netz HaChamah, the sunrise. There is something profound about the transition from night to day. Night represents the unknown and the fears that keep us stuck. The day represents clarity, action, and revelation. When you position yourself at that boundary between the two, you are standing at the threshold of new possibilities. When we pray at this time, we are not just reciting words. We are witnessing the renewal of creation. The Talmud teaches us that every single day, the world is created anew. Think about what that means for your financial life. No matter what mistakes you made yesterday, no matter what losses you may have suffered in the market, or what opportunities you feel you missed, the sunrise is a reminder that the Creator is providing a fresh start. But to access the wisdom needed for that fresh start, you must be present. You must be awake, both physically and spiritually, to receive the light that is being poured into the world. This is why the most successful people in our history, from the patriarchs to the great scholars, were often people of the morning. They understood that the clarity you gain at dawn is worth 10 times the effort you put in later, when the world is noisy and your mind is tired. Now, I want to be very clear about what we are doing when we pray at this time. We are not asking for a supernatural deposit into our bank accounts. We are not treating the Almighty like a vending machine. That is not how the spiritual laws of wealth work. Instead, we are praying for wisdom. We are praying for the ability to see the path that is already there, but perhaps hidden by our own anxiety. In the Book of Kings, we read about a young King Solomon who had just taken the throne. He was overwhelmed by the responsibility of leading a nation. The Almighty appeared to him in a dream and said, "Ask what I shall give you." Solomon did not ask for long life, and he did not ask for riches. He asked for a listening heart to discern between good and evil. He asked for wisdom. Because Solomon asked for wisdom, the Almighty was pleased. He gave him wisdom so great that people came from all over the world to hear him speak. And along with that wisdom, he was also given wealth and honor. This is a crucial lesson for us. Wealth is often a byproduct of wisdom, but wisdom is never a byproduct of wealth. If you have money without wisdom, you will eventually lose the money. But if you have wisdom, even if you start with nothing, you can build something meaningful and lasting. When you pray at sunrise, your primary request should be for the clarity to see the opportunities before you, the discipline to manage what you have been given, and the courage to act when the time is right. When we talk about financial wisdom, we must also talk about the reality of the world we live in. Building wealth is a process that requires patience, strategy, and an understanding of risk. The Torah does not promise that you will become a billionaire overnight, just because you started praying at sunrise. In fact, our tradition emphasizes the importance of hard work and hishtadlut, which means making a sincere effort in the physical world. The psalmist tells us, "If you eat the labor of your hands, you are fortunate, and it is good for you." There is a blessing in the work itself. Prayer gives you the internal compass, but you still have to walk the path. You still have to do the research. You still have to be honest in your dealings. And you still have to understand that all investments carry risk. There are no guarantees in the markets, and anyone who tells you otherwise is not speaking from a place of Torah truth. What the sunrise prayer does is it removes the fog of the ego. During the day, we are bombarded by advertisements and by the opinions of others. But in the quiet of the morning, before the world has a chance to tell you who to be, you can connect with your true purpose. You can look at your financial goals not just as numbers on a screen, but as tools for doing good in the world. When your path is clear, you stop making impulsive decisions based on the fear of missing out. You stop chasing the latest trends and start building a foundation based on timeless principles. This is the clearer path forward that so many of you are looking for. It starts with a quiet moment, a humble heart, and the discipline to be present when the light breaks. Let us dive deeper into what this wisdom looks like in practice. One of the most famous pieces of financial advice in human history actually comes from the Talmud, in the tractate of Bava Metzia. The sages taught that a person should always divide their money into 3 parts: 1/3 in land, 1/3 in business or commerce, and 1/3 kept in hand as liquid cash. Today, we call this diversification. It is the recognition that the world is unpredictable. If you put all your resources into one place, you are vulnerable. But if you spread your resources, you are practicing a form of humility. You are admitting that you do not know exactly what the future holds, so you are preparing for multiple outcomes. This is the kind of practical wisdom that prayer at sunrise can help you implement. When you are calm and centered, you can look at your assets and ask yourself if you are being prudent or reckless. Many people in their 50s and 60s feel a sense of urgency to catch up on their retirement savings. This urgency often leads to taking unnecessary risks or falling for schemes that promise guaranteed returns. But the Torah teaches us that wealth that comes quickly often leaves quickly. True wealth is built step by step. When you pray for clarity, you are asking for the strength to be patient. You're asking for the wisdom to choose the slow, steady path of growth over the dangerous shortcut. Consider the story of Joseph in Egypt. He was given a vision of 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph did not just pray for the famine to go away. He used the years of plenty to prepare. He built storehouses, he managed the grain, and he created a system that saved not just Egypt, but the surrounding nations as well. For those of you in your 45 to 65 years, you are in your years of plenty, in terms of your experience and earning potential. This is the time to be like Joseph and build your storehouses. But you cannot do that if you are distracted by the noise of the world. You need the clarity of the morning to see where the grain needs to go. There is a beautiful balance we must maintain between bitachon and hishtadlut. Bitachon is total trust in the Almighty, the belief that ultimately everything comes from the source. Hishtadlut is the effort we put in. Some people make the mistake of thinking that if they have enough trust, they do not need to work. Others make the mistake of thinking that their work is the only thing that matters, which leads to burnout and anxiety. The sunrise prayer is the perfect place to harmonize these two. As you watch the sun rise, you see that you did not make the sun come up. That is the Almighty's work. But once the sun is up, it is your job to use that light to work the field. In your financial life, you must do your due diligence, learn the mechanics of investing, and manage your budget. But once you have done your part, you must have the trust to let go of the anxiety. I know that for many of you, the transition into your later years brings up fears about health and the cost of care. These are real concerns, and they deserve practical solutions. Financial wisdom is not just about growing your net worth. It is about protecting what you have and ensuring that you are not a burden to your loved ones. This involves looking at insurance, understanding estate planning, and defining what enough looks like for you. The billionaire Rabbi perspective is not about having billions of dollars in the bank. It is about having a mindset of abundance and responsibility. It is about knowing that you are a steward of the resources you have been given. When you stand in prayer at sunrise, try to visualize your life 20 years from now. What do you want your legacy to be? Do you want to be remembered for the size of your portfolio, or for the way you used your resources to support your community and your family? This long-term perspective is a gift of the morning. In the heat of the day, we are focused on the immediate problem, the next bill, or the next trade. But in the morning, we can see the horizon. We can see the clearer path forward that leads to a life of meaning. This is why I emphasize this specific time. It is the only time of day when the physical world and the spiritual world seem to speak the same language. Let us talk about the mechanics of this morning routine. It is not enough to just wake up. You must have a plan. I suggest starting with a few minutes of silence. Before you check your phone or look at the news, just sit with the silence. Acknowledge that you are alive. The first words a Jew says upon waking are Modeh ani, which means, I give thanks. We thank the Creator for returning our soul to us. This creates a foundation of gratitude. If you start your day with gratitude, you are already wealthier than most people on this planet. Gratitude changes your brain chemistry. It moves you from a state of scarcity to a state of abundance. From that place of abundance, you can then begin to pray for wisdom. As you move into your prayer, be specific. Do not just say, "Make me rich." Instead, ask for the clarity to see the truth of the situation. Ask for help to see the risks that you might be ignoring. Ask for help to see the opportunities that you might be missing because of your own biases. Give yourself the strength to act with integrity, even if it means a smaller profit in the short term. This kind of prayer is powerful because it is actionable. It aligns your will with the higher wisdom, and it prepares your mind to recognize the answers when they appear during the day. Many people ask me if it really has to be sunrise. Can I not just pray at 9 a.m. after my coffee? Of course, you can pray at any time. The Almighty hears every whisper of the heart. But there is a reason why the ancient ones, who were meticulous in their service, sought the sunrise. There is a specific energy in the air that is different. It is a time of chesed, of pure loving kindness. As the day progresses, the energy of gevurah, or judgment and structure, becomes stronger. If you want to approach your finances with a sense of peace and flow, you want to tap into that morning chesed. It allows you to look at your challenges without the harsh judgment of the ego. It allows you to be kind to yourself about your past mistakes, which is the first step toward fixing them. For those of you in the 45 to 65 age bracket, this is also a time to consider your spiritual equity. You have spent decades building your career and your family. You have accumulated a wealth of experience. But have you invested in your soul? Financial wisdom in the Torah is never divorced from spiritual growth. In fact, the Talmud says that one of the first questions a person is asked in the heavenly court is if they conducted their business affairs with integrity. Your financial life is the primary laboratory for your spiritual development. Every time you choose honesty over a quick buck, or every time you give charity even when you are worried about your own expenses, you are building spiritual equity that no market crash can ever take away. Let us talk about the concept of tzedakah, or charity. To the logical mind, giving money away seems like a subtraction. But the Torah operates on a different math. The word tzedakah comes from the root tzedek, which means justice. Giving is an act of restoring balance to the world. There is a famous teaching that charity saves from death. When you give, you are training your mind to realize that you are not the ultimate owner of your wealth. You are a manager. This shift in perspective reduces the paralyzing fear of loss. When you are not desperately clinging to every penny, you can make better, more rational decisions. You become a conduit for wealth, rather than a container. I have seen this in my own life, and in the lives of thousands of students I have taught. Those who are generous often find that they have a clearer head when it comes to their business dealings. They are not acting out of desperation. They know that their needs will be met, just as the manna was provided for our ancestors in the desert. Every morning, the manna fell. It could not be stored up for the next day. You had to trust that it would come again. This is a profound lesson for us today. We live in a world of storage, where we try to hoard as much as possible to protect ourselves against a future we cannot control. While the Torah encourages us to be like Joseph and save, it also warns us not to become like the people who tried to hoard the manna until it rotted. We must find the balance between prudent saving and radical trust. The sunrise prayer is your daily recalibration. Just as a pilot checks their instruments before takeoff, you are checking your spiritual and mental instruments before you enter the marketplace. You are making sure that your why is aligned with your how. Why do you want to build wealth? Is it for status or security? Or is it to be a light in the world? When your why is pure, the how becomes much clearer. You will find yourself attracted to the right opportunities and repelled by the wrong ones. You will find that you have a gut feeling that is actually the result of a mind that is tuned to a higher frequency. I want to remind you again that this is a journey. There will be days when you miss the sunrise. There will be days when you feel as confused as ever. Do not let that discourage you. The Almighty is slow to anger and full of patience. We should be patient with ourselves as well. Financial transformation is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It involves risks. It involves setbacks. And it involves a lot of day-to-day discipline. But with the right wisdom, the path does become clearer. You begin to see the patterns. You begin to understand the laws of cause and effect. And most importantly, you begin to feel a sense of peace that surpasses all understanding. And remember, if you are ready to take this transformation to the highest possible level, the Torah Millionaire Business School is waiting for you. For a limited time, you can access the complete Torah wealth system for just $299. This is the exact blueprint I have used to help thousands of people achieve massive financial and spiritual success. The doors are closing soon. Click the link in the comments, find it in the description, or scan the QR code on my channel banner right now. As you go forth today, I want to leave you with a blessing. May the Almighty grant you the wisdom of Solomon, the foresight of Joseph, and the trust of our ancestors in the desert. May your path be clear, your hands be busy with good work, and your heart be full of peace. May you find that the resources you need are always available to you at the right time, and may you use them to bring light and joy to your family and your community. Thank you for spending this time with me. I look forward to hearing about your journey and the clarity you are finding in the morning light. Shalom.